It's pretty obvious that bodybuilding and all of its iterations, like bikini competing, fitness modeling, physique, figure, and the like, are all about how you look. And something that's surprisingly rarely discussed, especially less than steroid and substance use, is the effect such competition can have on one's body image and mental health. Today, pro bikini competitor Samantha Shorkey gives us a peek behind the curtain and shares why bodybuilding isn't for everyone. Hi, it's Emily from Bite-Size Vegan, and welcome to another Vegan Nugget. Samantha Shorkey is a true spitfire of a woman who lays all of her cards on the table, something I greatly admire in a person. If you missed my first interview with Samantha, be sure to check it out to hear how she found her way to being a pro vegan bikini competitor. She's a 2-time winning vegan bikini athlete, certified personal trainer, the first ever vegan WNBF bikini pro, and author of Jacked on the Beanstalk, plant-based fuel for vegan athletes, and is also a member of the plant-built vegan muscle team. And built, she certainly is. But Samantha herself will tell you that she's not competition ready all year round. As I said, the thing that I love about Samantha most is her brutal honesty. Let's hear from her on what can be the darker side of competitive bodybuilding. Well, thank you so much, Samantha, for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here on the channel and kind of share your experience with the viewers.
Thanks for having me.
So, as a professional now bikini competitor, obviously what you do is very focused on your physical body and how you look and how you appear. So with that, and with the entire bodybuilding industry, can you talk a little bit about, body image within that, as a whole, but also for your personal experience as a female kind of competing in a way that's very, very public display of your body?
It's funny because before I ever got into competing, I used to always think that I was pretty fit. I'd look in the mirror and say, yeah, I look great. I'm in shape. Genetically, I think I've got, pretty good little package going on here. And then, you get into competing and you're judged on such a subjective level that, I did one show, I did provincial championships in Vancouver, and the judges told me, your thighs are too thick, your legs are too big. And you kind of can't help but let that get to you, right? Because I never in a million years thought that I had big legs. And now even to this day, I'm always thinking like, oh, are my thighs too big? Are my thighs too thick? And, you really have to be a confident enough person in yourself to say, that's just the opinion of 4 or 5 random strangers who don't know a thing about me. And just because they think that this girl looked better on me than stage doesn't mean that I'm not just as beautiful or beautiful in a million other ways. And it's sad because I do know many women who compete and instead of something like this empowering them, it just puts their self-esteem down the toilet. And they do these shows year after year after year, just, wanting to feel pretty and wanting to feel good and healthy. And they do awful things to their body in order to sculpt themselves into what they think these random judges want them to be. And it's really sad. And I've had several girls come to me for training and they've said, I'm former eating disorder victim. And immediately I say, this is not the sport for you. And I do not feel comfortable taking you as a client. I'm telling you right now, if you have body image issues going into this, you're going to come out far worse than you went in. So save yourself, the torture. And yeah, it's definitely something that women and even men, I know men who've developed these issues as well, that guys, got into competing at the same time as me. And now here they are, if they're not doing a ton of steroids every day, they're thinking, oh, I'm so small, never big enough. There's a funny saying that, what is it? The day you start bodybuilding is the day you're never big enough. And that's how guys think of it. And for women, it's the day you start competing is the day you're never lean enough. And, I often say that this is a contest of who tortures themselves the most, who starves themselves the most. And it's just a lot of things you need to be aware of, and you need to separate yourself from that lifestyle. Once the show ends, it's very important to give yourself a few weeks or a few months to be a normal person and reconnect with, the loved ones in your lives and seek support if you need to, because there's a whole world out there outside of competing. And sadly, too many people get wrapped up in this being their entire life and ruin their lives because of it.
Yeah, I mean, with all of that pressure and just the intensity that you're describing, it just makes me wonder, like, why do you keep doing it? Like, what is it that draws you to continue this kind of competition with all of that, all of the pressure, I suppose?
Well, for me personally, and maybe this sounds a bit egotistical, but I guess I'm a bit of an exhibitionist, and I always say I'm an egomaniac, and for me, I love being up on stage, practically naked, strutting my stuff, and I swear part of the reason I always do so well is because I portray that confidence of, you want this, and that's kind of the mentality that I have about it. And to be honest, this is my last year of competing. I said that last year was going to be my last one, and then I ended up winning my pro cards. Yeah, it is something that I would never want to do long term, but I know how to have the right mindset about it. I can compete, and then if I don't win, I can be a normal person again after that. And I like myself, whether I'm thick, thin, jacked, scrawny, it doesn't matter. I'm a pretty confident person, and I think it's so important if you do this for the long term to have that confidence.
Well, I really appreciate your candor, and that's something that I have seen on your blog, Jacked and the Beanstalk. Like, you don't really hide anything of your experience with bodybuilding, and I think that's pretty valuable for people to see, because I think this industry sometimes can be so much about image that people don't really let you see what goes on to create that image, but you kind of put it all out there, and that's very refreshing. So.
Well, and it's funny, I always joke about, the vegan farts, and I wrote a whole blog post about, about how, when you're a vegan bodybuilder, you're eating a high protein, high fiber diet. And I talked about farting nonstop and, peeing into a pee cup so that I don't get pee splashes on my spray tan, and just addressing all of these topics that, regular bikini competitors would never mention. And I definitely heard a lot of people say, like, ew, you're gross, and why guys must think you're hideous. It's like, well, you know what? I'm real, and I would hope to be relatable, and that, girls would appreciate that more than me, pretending, oh, I don't fart. So.
Well, I think it's really important too, especially, with the topic of body image that we were discussing, because, women can look at you on stage and say, oh, like, I can, that she must just work out, or like, just think that that's like a natural way to be. But when you kind of put out and be like, okay, this is the stuff that I'm doing to get to this point, and I'm peeing in a cup, and I'm doing this and this, I think that's helpful, because it kind of shows what it takes to attain that. It makes I guess women feel less like, oh, I should be able to do that if I just go to the gym, every day and have like really good, self-will or something.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I do get women all the time saying, well, how come you have a six-pack and I eat healthy and I exercise? And what people don't realize is there's a lot of smoke and mirrors going on to get to that day. You're training for one particular day. So you're doing things like cutting water. I don't drink water for 2 days. But leading up to a show, I'm taking dandelion root, which is a natural diuretic, to help, get rid of the water retention and suck the skin to my muscles, so I look really shredded. There's so many things that the spray tan makes you look more jacked than you are, and you're oiled up, and I wish I looked like that on a daily basis, but to be honest, it's not even healthy or attainable to look like that. So I always want people to know that in the off season, I'm 15, 20 pounds sometimes bigger than I am when you see me on stage. And, it's important for girls and everyone to know that.
Thank you again so much for your time. I really appreciate it, especially with you preparing for your first pro competition. I know that you're very busy, so I very much appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
I hope you enjoyed hearing from Samantha on this issue. To get connected with her and hear all of the nitty-gritty details of her training, eating, and other activities, check out her blog, jackedonthebeanstalk.com, where you can also grab her ebook, follow her on social media, which those links are also below, and inquire about doing online coaching with her, whether for competitions or just getting into shape. And as Samantha said, if you're wanting to get into competing, it's important to go in with your eyes totally open to what it requires. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think of the body image and self-esteem challenges inherent in appearance-based competing? Is it something you think you'd be up for? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this look into the underbelly, or perhaps under six-pack of bodybuilding, give the video a big thumbs up and share it around to help others who may be considering such a calling. If you're new here, do hit that big red subscribe button down there for more awesome vegan content every Monday, Wednesday, and some Fridays, and not to miss out on the rest of the Vegan Athlete series. If you want to help support Bite Size Vegan, check out either of the support links in the video description below, or click on the Nugget Army icon or the link in the sidebar. Now go live vegan, rock your vegan body with confidence, and I'll see you soon. Let's take a look at a select few of the myriad reasons to go vegan and see just what impact your personal appearance has upon them. So let's see just how animals are affected by body image. What do you think of this pooch on my stomach that I can grab? And now the environmental impact of body image. Do you think that my thighs are too big?